ஆல் இண்டியா ரேடியோ செய்திக் கதம்பம்.
தனியார் கூட்டமைப்பு சார்பாக உற்பத்தி துறையில் திறமையானவர்களை மறுஉருவாக்கம் செய்வதற்கான செயல்முறை திட்டங்கள் குறித்த கருத்தரங்கம் சென்னையில் நடைபெற்றது. இதில் கலந்து கொண்டு உரையாற்றினார் தனியார் நிறுவனத்தின் துணைத் தலைவர் திரு ஹரிஷ் லக்ஷ்மண். அவர் பேசுகையில்,
The current state of the Indian economy grew at about 8.4% in the second quarter of 21-22. This clearly testifies that the economy is now recovering from the steep decline that we had at the start of the pandemic in March of last year. However, compared to the second quarter Q2 of 1920, the growth is only 0.5%. Sector-wise, the picture is mixed. Compared to quarter 2 of 1920, there has been good growth in agriculture, mining and public administration, but only marginal growth in manufacturing. Construction sector has stagnated, while major services have declined, like hotels, transportation, communication, etc. Finance and real estate sector again have grown only marginally. In the recent 6 to 8 months, high commodity prices have resulted in manufacturers across the board passing on the price pressure to end consumers. Auto, FMCG, paint companies, etc. have already increased prices across product categories. Cement prices have reached an all-time high of 400 rupees per bag. With vegetable prices surging again due to unseasonal rains, it is inevitable that inflation will increase, and we are seeing that as a global phenomenon. Consumption is impacted due to high prices, and growth in the manufacturing sector is constrained by ongoing supply shortages. I'm sure all of you have been reading about the semiconductor shortage, container shortage, choking in all the ports across the world. The risks to recovery remain, especially in the near term, and given that only 55% of the adult population in India is fully vaccinated, and the newly discovered Omicron variant has only added to the confusion and to the risks. Coming to the need for a strong manufacturing sector in our country, the standard economic transition that most advanced economies, starting with Britain back in 1700s to US and then Japan, Korea, etc. They all went through from an agrarian base to an industrial base and then to a service-led economy. In recent times, in most economies, the service sector has been the most sought after and promoted as the engine of growth. In India, the service sector has grown significantly, particularly in the last 20 years. Presumably, this has been led by the IT services. India's IT service sector shows that what can be achieved by tapping into the global opportunity. But it is high skilled and it barely taps into the country's ocean of labor that is present. India's liberalization in 1991 was premised on the idea that it would make local industries more competitive, help them capture world markets, which in turn would enable millions of Indian workers to move away from low productivity farm jobs to high productivity factory jobs. Though the industrial component has grown, driven by sectors such as infrastructure, construction, automotive, the manufacturing sector has not grown in pace with the GDP of our country. Even as the construction and service sectors expanded their share in the total employment pie, the share of manufacturing has remained the same as it was 3 decades ago. Manufacturing accounted for a tenth of the total employment in 1980s, and it even today continues to account only for about a tenth of the total employment. Within manufacturing, the share of labor-intensive industries such as textiles, leather has actually shrunk over the past few decades. In other Asian economies, which witnessed a transition from low productivity jobs to high productivity jobs, the manufacturing sector played a very big role in the transition. In India, so far, the role of the manufacturing sector has been very limited. The percentage of manufacturing industry in India's GDP has remained stagnant at 17% for more than 15 years. And just as a reference, China is close to 32%. It has been 7 years since our current government launched the Make in India initiative, with an aim to promote India as an investment destination and a global hub for manufacturing. It has targeted to increase the share of manufacturing sector in the country's GDP to 25% from today's 17% by 2022, and also aims to create 100 million additional jobs by 2022 in the manufacturing sector alone. However, I think it is very clear that the scheme so far hasn't been able to boost up the share of the manufacturing industry. Let me share 4 broad reasons to prioritize the manufacturing sector to drive equitable growth. Manufacturing has the highest multiplier effect on job creation. These effects can be backwards, going into mining, construction, or forward into logistics, retail, etc. Growth in manufacturing therefore fuels creation of jobs and investments also in non-manufacturing sectors. The size of our service sector seems disproportionate to our per capita income. To moderate the challenges, growth needs to create jobs across the nation and not just in metros. India's rural population is still at about 60%. So only manufacturing can employ those levels of skill gainfully. If demographic dividend is to be realized, these people have to be employed gainfully. It is only the manufacturing sector that can absorb these many people and provide gainful employment. The third element is the potential to trade in services for goods is limited. According to WTO, 80% of the world trade is merchandise based and only 20% is in services, which means merchandise or goods is a multiple of 4 times of service. So therefore, as an extreme case, if an economy was composed only of services, then it would be very poor because it cannot trade at all, and that too in a country which has probably one of the second largest population in the world. So with a population of 1.3 billion, the lack of a strong manufacturing sector would make India excessively import dependent and a weak economy. Now coming to the talent landscape, the industry is also facing a shortage of skilled labor. Lack of foundational skills cause some of the biggest problems in manufacturing, and there is a need for a flexible, motivated workforce with skilled professionals at all levels, from technical professionals and managers to shop floor personnel. Workforce architecture in manufacturing has changed over the past 2-3 decades. Major one being substantial proportion of contingent workforce. Industry 4.0, I'm sure all of you have heard this term in the last couple of years. Fighting and mitigating the pandemic with the aim to survive, the manufacturing industry has also accelerated the arrival of Industrial Revolution 4.0. In the manufacturing sector, the average person on the shop floor is not as tech savvy as someone in the banking or financial sector. With the introduction of software technology, the operator needs to be given the right skills to use it. Theoretically, the biggest threat and disruption in these technologies take away manpower, resulting in job loss. We are seeing more and more factory automation, and the first thought process is, jobs are going to be lost. But in my opinion, it is only the nature of job that will get reconfigured, and the type of skill required in an organization would change rather than any significant job loss. Automation may eliminate some type of jobs, but it would also create higher order jobs. But today when you look back, we see that none of these jobs were eliminated. In fact, more jobs were added, but they were all reclassified. Today we may not require a skilled operator for every machine to work in our factory, but it will certainly need an experienced engineer or a diploma engineer to program those machines to make sure it runs effectively. So it only goes to show that new jobs would come up as technology changes.
இத்துடன் இன்றைய செய்திக் கதம்பம் நிறைவு பெறுகிறது.